Welcome back to another episode of Sal and Pals Go to the Movies. Today I'll be reviewing the movie The Alto Nights. So just a fair warning, there's going to be spoilers up ahead, so you've been warned. Two of New York City's most notorious organized crime bosses vie for control of the city's streets. One's best friends, petty jealousy, and a series of betrayals set them on a deadly collision course. So now let's begin with my first pro. Robert De Niro in two roles, so it's himself versus himself. Both characters are based on real life people, and I am not going to say that De Niro looked exactly like them, but I gotta say, they did dress him up just like Vito, down to the hat and glasses. But the scenes where both characters are in the same place at the same time, the dialogue does flow well, I gotta say. Mind you, it's just two mobsters just going back and forth, rambling about their affairs. Some scenes do shine, but it's not all the time. Next pro, the events that were shown did happen, they were newsworthy. Not sure if they went down behind the scenes as they showed, but I feel they did a decent job making it work. Also, there were other events that have been debunked as to not be true behind the scenes, as who did what to who and who ordered the hit. So I am glad none of these were actually in the film, because I know there are mafia fanatics out there that would rip this film apart if they included one of those scenes that was debunked. Next pro, the supporting cast was great, especially Deborah Messing being the calm wife behind Frank Costello, and also Katrina Narducci, who was the wife behind Vito, and her character just being blunt. Most of the supporting cast do look the part, even if some didn't say much. It just speaks to how deep this whole organization crime scene was. It spread everywhere across the US. Oh yeah, and that part about the farm where everybody saw the cop and just ran, it actually did happen, and that is how the US, quote unquote, discovered how far it actually went, because everybody knew who ran what since the Prohibition days. So the supporting cast was there. Most of them did actually look similar to their actual characters, which they were based on. So I gotta say, set design and wardrobe design did an amazing job setting us up in that time period. Now let's move on to the cons. I don't know how to feel about De Niro being Costello and narrating the story while the film cuts to him talking directly to us from a park bench, from him showing us slides, and from other places. It would have been nice with his voiceover like Goodfellas, but I can see if they did that, people would feel that they've been ripped off and they already seen that. But still, him telling us a story, I feel I was back in kindergarten and it was story time, and I was sitting on the carpet listening to the story be told to me. But when they showed the scenes of De Niro as Costello making decisions to show Vito that he was out, and then Vito thinking he was scheming something, he would think about it, going crazy trying to figure out the conspiracy where there was none. I wanted more of those scenes and how Vito had no trust in anybody, but I didn't get that. Instead, I had a dad telling story time to their kids about how it all went down, and I just couldn't help but point and say, I seen this already. When Vito is driving to the farm and Vincent says the thing about the Mormons, and then Vito goes all Joe Pesci from Goodfellas on him. That scene kind of made me giggle. Next con, the fake makeup on De Niro for Vito, and also the double chin on Vincent. I know it was his nickname, the chin, but did makeup really have to make it look that bad? I couldn't help but stare at it. This felt like an indie film quality. Not that there is anything wrong with an indie film, but this movie should have done better on that department. I mean, the other departments were amazing. Set design, costume were amazing. I expected the makeup department to be up there as well, but unfortunately, it kind of fell short. Also, you could have basically said when they try to splice both De Niro's in the same scene, you could kind of tell, but I mean, it is what it is. So my grade for this film is going to be a 7 out of 10. The story or events were great, interesting, fun to listen, but for those who knew, we liked them being included. But for those who may not know, it will just be some action scenes they can't link to anything. People who follow these events in history, they will like the film. If you just go into the film for De Niro playing two people at once, then you might end up not liking it due to how much you wanted De Niro to deliver his roles perfectly. He sometimes succeeded, but most of the time it kind of fell short. He seems lacking in energy for the character's age, which is true, but people wanted action, and it gives it to you in very little segments. But if you are in for the quick rundown on the inside of the mafia, you will enjoy it and see how it actually worked and how they kept everything organized and they did their things. I mean, they did have to follow some rules. If you enjoyed this film and want to see more, you might also want to check out Bugsy by the same director of this film, which also has to do with the mafia in Vegas and ties somehow into Frank Costello. So that does it for this review of The Alto Nights. Please join us next time where we're going to review The Luckiest Man in America.
It's a lot of money. Do you want to spend and risk losing it all?
I said again.
I tried to warn him.
Please like, comment, and subscribe. You can find our social media links below. And like always, keep watching movies.